Brazil may have been yet another record breaker for three-time world champion Max Verstappen, as his 17th win from 2023, but it was a 19th for his Red Bull team, equaling the all-time record. Shared with Mercedes, which won 19 of 21 in 2016, as Sir Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg waged war inside the Silver Squad. Red Bull then won the remaining two in Spain and Malaysia. And there's plenty of time for Red Bull to usurp the Silver Squad, with the energy drinks outfit already ahead on the percentage of races won, 95 to 90.5. It's been a fantastic season, and there are still 2 races to go, said team boss Christian Horner. Sao Paulo may have signed a new contract that will ensure the Brazilian Grand Prix remains at Interlagos through to 2030, but its copybook was blotted in the closing stages of this year's race, with a track invasion at Turn 1 on the checkered flag lap by a large group of spectators due to insufficient security measures. The organizers were immediately hauled before the stewards and concurred with the FIA sporting delegate and the race director report and agreed that comparable circumstances already occurred in Brazil and that this was an unacceptable situation which could have had disastrous consequences. The Sao Paulo organizers must now present a formal remediation plan to the FIA by the end of January 2024, with the incident referred to the World Motorsport Council for further investigation. Aston Martin cued cheers at Interlagos with news that Felipe Drugovich will not only remain its reserve driver in 2024, but take on his second FP1 for the year at the season finale in Abu Dhabi. The 23-year-old Brazilian, who won 2022's F2 championship, joined the team this year and has since completed 20 days' work in the simulator and more than 6,000 kilometers in the squad's F1 cars. With his first test at Silverstone in November 2022, where he drove the AMR21 to complete the FIA's requirements to secure an F1 super license, with a chance to run in both dry and wet conditions. Drugovich's 2024 commitment rules him out of the second Williams seat, but the Brazilian is thrilled to stay in green. This year I've learned a huge amount, not just at the racetrack, but working with the engineers in the simulator and from the development program that was designed for me, he said. Mercedes may have enjoyed inexcusable performance in Brazil, according to its chief Toto Wolff, but the squad says its new floor confirms it's moving in the right direction for 2024. The Silver Arrows brought its new floor to Austin, which was reckoned to be worth 0.2 of a second. But beyond the extra performance, the squad is far more focused on getting 2024 right.
We collect a lot of data off the car, so pressures off the floor, pressures off the wings, loads on the car, and all that data is correlating really well with what we're seeing in the wind tunnel, and that's crucial for next year because this floor is actually a step towards the development direction that we want to take for 2024. So very encouraging signs, but still a lot of work ahead of us.
Fernando Alonso was the talk of Brazil even before the track action began, with the Spaniard stating that there are consequences for those who started the wild rumors that linked him to a Red Bull switch and even retirement based on Aston Martin's current form. Tongues began wagging following a post from a Spanish journalist on X, since viewed 11 million times, who expressed shock over the rumor he had been told in the Mexico City paddock. But Alonso said the resultant speculation was from those trying to gain some followers, though he didn't explain what the consequences would be for what he saw as an attempt to destabilize Aston Martin. Over at Red Bull, though, straight talker Dr. Helmut Marko suggested that Alonso started the rumors himself. This is because the results at Aston Martin have been very disappointing recently, he said. It would not be the first time that he has used the Spanish media to stir the pot. McLaren boss Andrea Stella said Lando Norris's podium drive in Brazil was impressive, but hailed his Mexico fightback, where he went from 17th to 5th, as the best he's ever seen. Norris was out of Q1 in Mexico City after a self-confessed silly mistake at turn 12. But Stella, in a chat with the sports official podcast F1 Nation, said the Brit's last 30 laps were a tour de force.
What I said to Lando is like, not only I think this is one of your best races, but I think this is one of the best races from a driver that I could witness myself. Like, if you think 30 laps to go, it was P14 on the pit wall, we were thinking points have gone for Lando today. And then step by step he overtook everyone at a track in which most drivers yesterday say it was so difficult to overtake. So remarkable performance by Lando.
Ex-F1 driver Timo Glock says that Haas needs to provide his countryman Nico Hülkenberg with a better car next year to get the best from his talent. Glock said that Hülkenberg's performance in qualifying this year has been outstanding, but that he doesn't have the material to turn it into points in the races, given the VF23's tyre degradation. But while Hülkenberg will continue to drive for backmarker Haas in 2024, Glock says his qualifying pace has him on top teams' shopping lists, and the German knows he could deliver. If Hülkenberg would drive in a top team, he's also someone who can fight for the podium and for victories, he said. The Hulk, though, still remains the record holder for most races without a podium, with the German on 201 starts, over 70 more than second-placed Adrian Sutil and third-placed Pierluigi Martini. Red Bull reserve pilot Liam Lawson says he won't be anywhere but F1 in 2024, with the brand keen for him to be ready at any point. Lawson impressed this season with his 5-race stint for AlphaTauri from Zandvoort to Qatar, replacing an injured Daniel Ricciardo, and then returned to Japan's Super Formula Series, where he finished runner-up after a challenging twin-round finale at Suzuka. But while Lawson says he'll miss Super Formula, 2024 will be all about his reserve duties for Red Bull and AlphaTauri. As much as I would like to be racing a car, it's what Red Bull has decided is the best thing for me right now. They want me to be 100% focused on being ready at any point, he said. F1 drivers will no longer be able to stop in the fast lane of the pits during qualifying, with the FIA moving to stamp out the blocking seen in Mexico. Drivers had begun to delay their qualifying laps by slowing in the pit lane to create a gap after the FIA set a maximum time for in and out laps. But the race director clarified the procedure in his Brazil race notes, stating, as per Article 33.4 of the Formula One sporting regulations, drivers are not allowed to go unnecessarily slow. That includes stopping a car in the fast lane of the pit lane. Michael Andretti has admitted he didn't think it would be so hard to get into F1, and that his American operation is seen as a bunch of hillbillies. Andretti is currently locked in commercial discussions with Formula One management, after the FIA approved its application for an 11th grid slot. But gaining F1's approval is an ongoing uphill battle, with teams pushing for the $200 million anti-dilution fee to be tripled. Andretti, though, says the squad will prove its weight to get in. Yeah, it's going to take a piece of the pie, prize money and things, but we feel like we can bring more to it than what we're going to take out of the pie, he said. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.